So last year, I got to join a rock club for the first time ever, and I only really went with them for one trip, but on that one trip we decided to dig some Thundereggs, and yeah, I got a few of them here, and I thought I'd throw them on the saw today and see what I could get out of them. There's some of them are agate, some of them are opal, some of them are just hollow and they have cool formations. So yeah, we'll cut a few of these open and see what's in them. I have a bunch of broken ones in this bucket here too. Most of the opal in here is pretty crazed up from being on the surface or pretty close to the surface. So hopefully, at least what my hopes are, is out of these whole Thundereggs, there could be some better material. One thing about these Thundereggs is they don't really have the pressure lines that most of the popular Thundereggs do. So you kind of just have to cut them whichever way and hopefully it turns out well. I don't think these really get stars in them either. They're just kind of a different formation, so I guess we'll see what we could get out of these, and yeah, should be some pretty cool ones in here, I think. So I think I'm going to start off with this one. As you can see, it doesn't really have any pressure lines, so I can't really follow those, but it seems like it has some potential. It might be a double because there's another bubble kind of on the top of it, but I guess we'll see. So let's see what's inside of this one. Cut it all the way through. It felt pretty soft, so it might be just a hollow one. Yeah, it looks like just a hollow one, but you can see there's like this green mineral that kind of forms inside of these. Sometimes they'll get a cool pattern, but this one seems kind of bland, to be honest, but still kind of interesting to look inside of there. There's a little bit of opal. I probably cut it in the wrong direction. There's probably some opal in the bottom of this one. It looks pretty flat. I'm not really sure what that green mineral is though. So I think this is the one that I'm going to cut next. Seems to be pretty heavy, so there must be something inside of it. Either that or it's just solid rhyolite, but I'm hoping that there'll be agate or something like that inside there. Alright, so it's cut open now. I don't know if that sounds solid or hollow, but I guess we'll see. Oh, that one's packed full of fire opal. Pretty crazed up, but still pretty cool. So this one must have been maybe close to the surface or something, or maybe that's just a way that the opal likes to form, is it's just full of water and then it dries out and gets all crazed up. I don't really know, but I really like the color of that stuff. It's really nice and orange. We cut it along the right plane at least and got some good opal out of it. So I've got a bunch of these little tiny Thundereggs, and I figured there might be something cool in them. This little tiny one's almost like a bead. It's so small, but yeah, I guess we'll see what's inside of those. So those ones felt pretty solid for the most part. Here's the first one. That one looks to be filled with agate, which is pretty nice, and it has some banding in there. As you can see, it's not really the typical star pattern, but still looks pretty cool. So yeah, that's the first one. Here's the next one. Ah, that one has quite a bit in there. Had a little bit of a pocket towards the top. So it must have been facing like that in the ground. It'd be so awesome to find one of these that are like full of precious opal. I don't even know if that happens. Like, I've never seen a Thunderegg full of precious opal, but still just seeing this common opal kind of gives me hope that there could be something like that out there. But yeah, it's pretty cool. That one doesn't seem to have much. There's like a little bit of opal in there, but it's a fairly solid nodule of rhyolite there. Nothing too fancy, but yeah. So here's the next one. That one's pretty cool. has agate on the top and opal on the bottom. Yeah, that's a really cool formation. It's nice how in the agate ones you could kind of see the background of the rhyolite. So it's kind of like a moss agate kind of look to it. This one's the smallest one. I think this one felt pretty solid, so we'll see what's inside of it. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought, just a solid nodule. Usually the smallest ones don't really have a whole bunch in them. It's kind of hard to get a gas pocket to form in something that small. That one has some nice fire agate in it, or fire opal, sorry. It's also pretty crazed up. Looks like maybe a squirrel or something. Here's another one. That one's pretty much solid opal. Kind of crazed up again, but yeah, just a nice big solid white opal. Alright, so this one's going to be the last one. It's another little teeny tiny one, so hopefully something might have formed inside of it. Another solid rhyolite. Nothing really formed inside that one, so it's kind of the way it goes. So next up on the chopping block, I'm going to do all these medium-sized ones. Some of them are feeling pretty solid, and some of them are kind of lighter than others. So there might be some solid ones and some hollow ones, but we won't know until we cut them. So here's that last one. It was a little bit more crystallized on the outside. So let's see what's inside of it. There's a bit of agate and opal in there. Looked like it was almost trying to be a star, but it didn't quite make it. But yeah, it's still pretty cool. There's a bunch of little black cracks going through there. I wonder if that's manganese or something. Yeah, it's cool that I was trying to go into a star though. I don't think I've seen any stars up north here. Here's another one of those larger ones. Seems to have some fire opal going through it. Not very defined, but little veins kind of going all through there. That one has mostly just white opal in there. Some nice mossy formations around the edge. Also some spherulitic kind of action going on with these little rhyolite nodules, but yeah, it's kind of a cool one. Not bad. Not sure which way this one was facing, probably like that. Oh, there's some agate in there, a little bit of opal. It's kind of interesting how it's all cracked in behind there. It must be just hollow on top, and I kind of missed that layer, so it looks like it's a big crack. But it's not, it's just hollow in behind there. But yeah, this one also has those black lines going through it. Pretty cool little formation. So here's another one. That one seems to have some fire opal in there. And I think I'm seeing some flash in there. So that might be, I think that's precious opal too. See if I can get these a little more wet. Oh yeah, you could really see it there. That flash is awesome. It's a little bit blue and green, and I think there's even some red in there. Not a ton of flash, like it's very directional it seems in this piece, but still precious opal in a Thunderegg. I was just talking about how I wanted to find some, but I didn't know that it formed in this location, so yeah, that's awesome. Here's another one. Oh, that one looks to have some agate, and it probably was topped with opal, but it's kind of in behind some agate right here. But yeah, you can see before it even gets exposed, it's still crazing. I don't know why, but yeah, that'll still polish up nice, I think, since there's the agate on there, and should be protecting the opal a little bit. So yeah, that's a nice one. Not too bad. I think this is one of the largest of the bunch. And it looks like a little bit of opal in there, but not much other than that. It's kind of brecciated all inside there. So that's kind of interesting. Here's another one. That one's just a solid rhyolite nodule. Not much going on in there. That one has quite a bit of agate in there. It's really mossy looking. Lots of that green mineral in there and stuff. It's kind of mixing in with the agate. So yeah, it's a nice little mossy looking thunder egg. This one sounds quite hollow, but there might still be some cool patterns and stuff going on in there. It's got a bit of like a spray pattern going on in there. There's a little bit of opal at the bottom, so that's kind of cool. Just common opal, but yeah, it's kind of cool to be able to see the original pocket that all this opal and agate formed in. Here's another one. This one's kind of like an odd shape, so I don't know what's going to be in there. Yeah, it's just another empty one. This one's kind of an odd shape too. That one's full of agate. Looks like waterline banding going on in this one. There's a little bit of fortification on top, but it was a little bit of a pocket in the middle here. But it didn't quite, there might be a little bit of druzy in there, but won't be able to see much. But I think that'll polish up really nicely. So now I think I'm just going to cut the last of them. There's a few here that are kind of just conglomerations of thunder egg type material, so I guess we'll see what happens, and hopefully we'll get some good pieces out of here. This piece is looking pretty nice. Like, it's a smaller one, but it's got some nice fire opal in there, so maybe if I cut it, it'll have a cool pattern in there, or maybe there's some precious opal or something. Never know. But yeah, I'll get these cut open and then we'll see what's inside these ones. Seems like there's some pretty solid ones in there. Let's see this one. Yeah, there's some agate in there. A little bit. Mostly just plain rhyolite, but it's nice that there's a little bit at least. That's just a teeny little bit of agate in the middle of that one. Oh well. Let's check this one out. Seems like there's might be a few pockets in there, I'm not sure. There's a couple. So it's a bit of a double, but it didn't really get to fill up very much with the agate. But there's some in there. It'll probably have some nice character when it's all polished up. I really like that green color of the rhyolite in here, but yeah. This one feels really heavy. So either it's entirely rhyolite or maybe there's a good chunk of agate in there. Oh, there's agate and opal. Not seeing any color, so it's just common opal. But it's still a really cool little Thunderegg. I have a feeling this agate will polish up nicely and you'll be able to see a bit more of the scenery in behind it. There's no color in the opal or anything, but it's still a pretty nice piece. There's actually little bands of more yellow opal in there now that I look a little bit more. But yeah. This one has more of like a clay colored rhyolite on the outside. And there's some agate in there. For some reason these ones didn't want to fill up as much. I don't know why. This is one of the largest single pieces that I got. Let's see what's inside. There's a little bit of common opal. I don't know why these big ones didn't want to fill up that much, but yeah, still kind of neat. This one sounds kind of hollow, but it's also heavy at the same time. So I don't know. It is hollow. There isn't really any infill except for maybe that little corner. But yeah, just another empty Thunderegg for the most part. Here's another. That one has some agate in it. Quite fractured up, but still a little chunk of agate in there. Here's that little piece that showed the bit of fire opal in there. I cut it kind of along the fracture that was already in there. Some nice fire opal, but it's really crazed up. Not really seeing any flash in there, I don't think. I'll have to look a little bit closer. But right off the bat, I'm not seeing anything. But yeah, a nice honey-colored opal. Here's that small one. It's got some nice white opal in it. Yeah, kind of looks like a batarang or something. Kind of cool. That one's really cool. It's got that deep honey-colored opal in there and white opal on the bottom. Not bad at all. It's really neat, actually. It doesn't seem to have any flash to it, but it's still a really nice piece. I really like that dark honey-colored opal. I think that one might polish up nicely. And here's the last one. It's just a big, gnarly piece. I cut off a piece from this side, and you can see it was hollow. Nothing really in there. And then I cut off this edge, and we'll see what's in there. Also hollow. Kind of what I expected. Sounded like it. That's the way it goes sometimes. You just gotta test your luck sometimes. Well, I think that's going to be it for this one. If there's any particular Thundereggs that you like, feel free to leave those in the comments below, and maybe next time I'll make a video about polishing these Thundereggs up. So if you like the video, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.